Hello, it's that time of the month again where I would go through my makeup bag, let you know what I think of the products that are in there, and eventually swap out products. This is part of my exercise and discipline in being content because it's so easy to get sucked into, buying makeup, collecting makeup, hoarding makeup, holding on to it unnecessarily when I would rather just really obsess over stuff I already own. Anyway, so this past month, oh gosh, this is already ripping. It's part of the bag. Anyway, so I want to show you what's been in my makeup bag. So before I get into any of the products, I wanted to show you this foundation. Now, if you've seen my Project 20 in 2025 video, this is one of the 25 products I want to use up this year. And I have. Okay, I used it up, I think, yeah, the last week of April, the first week of May, and I am so thrilled because I was able to use it up before it expired. Um, I will officially say that of all the foundations I've tried, this one is in the top five for sure. Great coverage, great finish on the skin, great lasting power. It's not too cakey or too thick. It's nice. It's really good in all those areas. It's not just naturally looking good. What am I saying? It doesn't just look naturally good, but it also lasts very long and it has good coverage. It's just great all around reliable foundation. Now, because I am still trying to finish the other one of this that I have in shade 465, um, what I was doing before was I was adding in like a white mixing pigment, but I find that the white mixing pigment is kind of like a bit temperamental for me. Like it's hit or miss with how it looks. So to use up this one, because this is pretty much like almost full. When I started to put this in my project 2025, it was like this much left of the bottle, but with this one, it's pretty much full. So I'm pretty sure this will take about the rest of the year to finish. But I purchased this was on clear out because this is no longer available. They have the new Lumi Matte for the Superstay, but this older version of the Superstay was on clear out, I don't know, for like 8, $9. But I got this in the shade 110, which is not my shade. My shade is 118 or 128 in the summer. So I decided to buy a lighter yellow foundation to lighten up this very dark pink foundation for me. And honestly, 1-to-1 ratio works perfectly to make it a bit more luminous because this one is very matte. um I've been using this primer, the elf C Bright Putty Primer. It's a luminous one. I really don't know if it's helping with longevity, but I definitely can tell that it's it feels better to apply product on my skin with this primer as opposed to like just dry, because I usually like do my skincare like a long time before I do my makeup. Anyway, so I've been mixing in this other elf product. Um this Halo Glow liquid filter. Honestly, when I purchased this, I got this thinking that it will replace my Becca the liquid shimmering skin perfector in Opal, because the ones that I like mixing that in with moisturizers for like my arms and legs from wearing a dress and stuff. I purchased this with a gift card thinking I'll do the same thing, but it's such a giant tub that I'm afraid, because I've heard people saying that this expires for them to like in like 6 months to a year because it's very creamy. Anyway, I decided to mix it in with these foundations to make it a bit more glowy, or just depending on my mood, I might just add this other glowy primer. So I have a lot of glowy things. I have embraced the glow. Anyway, I'm just really excited to say that I have finished this and that I am working on these now. But to change it up sometimes, I use this foundation, the Revlon Skin Caring Foundation. This is lighter coverage than the L'Oreal. It has a nice skincare look on the skin, like it looks very natural. And this is also a good shade match for me. It's shade 213. It's not as long wearing as the L'Oreal, but I also haven't tested it to see. I haven't worn this past like 12 hours. Maybe one day when I'm just home and I could just like wear it and see what it's like. But if I know that if I only need my foundation for less than 8 hours, then I don't mind using this. But this is more of a day to day foundation. The L'Oreal Maybelline combo is a long day type of wear. This foundation is one of my absolute favorites because it actually keeps me very matte. It lasts super long. The problem is that it's not my right shade, so I've been mixing in this. I don't know how much more I have left of this. I should have added this to my project 20 in 2025, but I thought this would be done by now. It's just the gift that gives on keeps on giving. But I've been mixing in a bit of these bronzer drops to warm up and darken this foundation. It's too light and pink for me, but yeah, these are the foundations I've been playing with these last couple of months, and it's been good. This is still the concealer and the additive to the concealer. It's an eyeshadow primer, an eyelid primer that I mix in with the concealer to help it, because this is a crease monster on me. Like I don't know why, but it just does. But it's been working, and I like the color of this too. It's the L'Oreal Fresh Wear Concealer, L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear Concealer in the shade are you? In the shade 360 Cashmere. Okay, so now going into the face products. Oops. Going into the cheek products. This is like my favorite part. If you can tell, I have completely set aside the pill box that I had because I don't even know, honestly, if that's going to be any good anymore. I just might take the highlighter shades on there and make other Franken products. I don't know what to do with that palette, but I still have this Arbonne. It's not Arbonne. I still have this Franken blush of different blush lighters that I've put in there. I have this NARS, which is Deep Potted Arbonne blush. The Lumi matte bronzer. This Tarte, but it's actually a Franken blush as well. I'm afraid it looks like it's gonna crack. What's going on? And this lovely Soft Sable CoverGirl blush that's been having a moment. I really enjoyed this Clinique Gold Celebration Pop highlighter. That's been lovely this month. Now these were not part of my collection at the beginning of the month. Actually, no, I purchased them. I don't even remember now. I've had this less than a month in my collection. Um, to be honest. Okay, so let me go into a little deep dive with this. I got these as replacements to the eyeshadow sticks that I returned. If you remember, for the Sephora sale, I purchased some eyeshadow sticks and I returned them. One, because some of them would, like, when you open them, they would just kind of fall over. I didn't like that. Second, I have fully accepted that I'm not an eyeshadow person, even if it's in something convenient like an eyeshadow stick, unless it's like an occasion where I'm dressing up and like doing my full face of makeup and I have designated eyeshadow for that. I really don't miss it, because I put bronzer, highlighter, and blush on my lids, and I feel like that's more than enough. Eyeliner is really the main thing for my eyes. Anyway, all that to say, I returned those, which meant I had like $60 credit, or I feel like I have $60 to spend because I returned $60 worth of stuff. And these were $20 each, so I felt like I'm saving 20 bucks. Flawed logic, but we reason. Anyway, this is their blush, Sephora colorful blush, colorful what? Colorful blush glaze in Moon O'Clock, number 4 Moon O'Clock. And this one is in number 2 Morning Blaze. So pretty. I have good news and bad news. So, good news is that these are very pretty. Like, I cannot with this. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, how can you not? How can you not? Ah, so pretty. It's the perfect blush lighter. Yes, it's a bit glittery for my liking, but you know what? I can live with that. And this is actually a very nice bright pink, a perfect spring and summer color. I mean, I could even get away with using that in the winter. The bad news is that this, for whatever reason, is a little tricky to blend, kind of like the Rare Beauty blushes. So I've had to experiment with different brushes. I found that something thin and wispy, kind of like a highlighter brush, works best as opposed to a more dense blush brush. Um, Talking about the shade, this is the shade that I really wanted at first. This one was just a tag along. I was in the store and I was like, yeah, this shade is also calling my name. But the main reason I wanted this blush collection is because of this in Moon O'Clock. Unfortunately, I am going to return this because on me, okay, like its swatch is so pretty. I've been tempted to keep this because look how beautiful that is, right? List it, fluffy brush. If it's not a fluffy brush, then it's going to be too pigmented and hard to blend. So my suggestion is to build it up, okay? Because I'm holding it from the end of the brush handle to build it up slowly. See? Because this blush swatches so beautifully on the hand, but it's not gonna look like that on your cheek. So let's see what it would look like on me. Building up slowly. Because if you put too much on at once, it's not gonna look right. Or it'll be harder to blend because there's too much. A little bit at a time. So this is pretty, right? This is pretty compared to this cheek. But I want more. Taps. Now, this brush is shedding, okay? This is actually a highlighter brush, but specifically for this blush, I need a light, fluffy brush like this that's not too dense but soft so that it picks up enough product, but it won't deposit too much at a time and it'll lightly just blend it. Pretty. Pretty, pretty. My pretty. This highlight though, this Benefit Cookie highlight is really giving. Oh yes, 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 yes. But oh my gosh, I love it. Love it, love it. Should I blend it? Should I build it or leave it here? That's a trick question because the answer is always build it. Okay. Look at that. I want to say this highlighter though. Doing things. Anyway, um, yes. So this brush is shedding. This is actually my very old Morphe M510 brush. As you can tell, it has seen a lot of life. She is she's past her prime. And I'm trying to figure out what's your replacement for this brush, because she is she's ready to go. But I want something light and fluffy like this, right? For the Morphe M510. What is your light and fluffy brush to replace this? A little more. Okay. It's giving me the color I like. Now, something I am going to put in my bag for the next couple of weeks is I'm putting her back again, the Rare Beauty Blush and Truth, because I want to compare how different these two are. I feel like they're not that different. Maybe this is a hair darker, but they're this of course first of all this one is baked. The Rare Beauty one is baked. This one is not. Very different formula. This one is very light and smooth feeling when you touch it. This one, of course, is just a regular, almost buttery feeling blush. I'm saying all that because I want to take the next few days to compare them both to see if this, like if the Rare Beauty is going to scratch the itch that I feel like that I wanted this to fill, the void that I wanted this to fill in my collection. So we're going to see. All that to say that I've had these two in my collection this month and they are staying in the bag for me to get to know them further. And I am adding this to keep the experiment going. Now, okay, I'm going to start again. I kind of got sidetracked. But so this bronzer, I I used to think this was like the perfect bronzer. I don't know what it is. Can you see? It has fine shimmer in there. And it never bothered me before. I don't know why if it's more prominent to me now. And I also don't know why. I don't know if it's my skin tone that has changed or my preference is changing, but I find this to be a bit too cool. Not sorry, a bit too warm. And I want something more cool toned. Is this me? Like I'm suddenly feeling like this is too warm for my face. It doesn't give a nice contour. It's too warm for that. So I don't know. I used to think that this was the right tone, but I'm going to put this in my maybe pile to see if it's something that I change my mind about or I don't know. I definitely like this on my forehead and on my nose, but I don't like this anymore for my cheekbones and my jawline. I don't like that anymore. I feel like I prefer the Bahama Mama. I can't say that. The Balm Bahama Mama. I feel like that one is actually a neutral tone bronzer. This used to be neutral, but now this is warm to me now. When I see this, I think it's a warm bronzer. Yeah, so this is going in my maybe pile, the same pile where I have put the e.l.f. primer infused blush because that is actually very just yellow orange on me. Um, yeah, so that's what I think about that. So before I get into the rest of my blushes, I want to talk about this. I really enjoyed it. I think I've had it in my bag now for over a month. And for an entire month, I was very content with this highlighter. I did not, I mean, the last week, yes, I've started to miss my other highlighters, but for a good month, like, I was very content with this. It's very pretty. It's so good on the skin. It can go that full metallic route if you want, but it can also be just this nice sheen on your skin. Very healthy glow. Like, come on. Look at that. Oh, so good. Thank you, Clinique. Like, I've used it so much. So pretty. Ah, it's in Gold Celebration Pop. So I have had a good time getting to know this product, and I'm putting it back in my not storage, but where the rest of my makeup is in my drawers. But I can't wait to meet you again in a few months. Come on, look at that. Ah, beautiful. Now, with these blushes, I really enjoyed like getting to know this one again. I can definitely see why Soft Sable by CoverGirl is having a moment right now. She is the perfect. I could categorize her as a blush lighter, honestly, because she has that sheen. You see that? It's so nice. Now, mind you, I don't use this brush for my cheeks, but not that you can't, but it's so beautiful. Yes, I really enjoyed that, and I can't wait to try it again. Can't wait to use it again. Very pretty. CoverGirl, Cheekers, and Soft Sable. So nice. Now, to me, this Arbonne blush that's depotted into this NARS container is like the generic blush to me. It's not pink, it's not mauve, it's not plum. It's kind of like a berry shade. It's not matte, it's not luminous. It's a satin finish. It lasts decently long. So, this is a safe day to day go to blush for me. Yeah, it's nice. It's not as it's horrible to say, but it's not as interesting as a blush lighter like this. You know what I mean? And it's not something I would wear if I want a statement cheek like this. So this is a safe go-to blush. It is not bronzy looking on my cheek. It has that deep mauviness to it, so it's very different from the soft sable. Like I know what I want to look like when I'm going for this, and this is more of a hey, I have a statement lip or a statement eye, so I want the blush to kind of just be in the background. That's what this is for, and it's great. Now, this blush lighter, Franken blush lighter. So not only is it a blush lighter, but it's a combination of four different ones. I took the Beauty Bakery um, quad. It's a cheek palette with four different blush lighters, and I took a little bit from all four, and I smushed them into this product. Just kind of breaking apart on me, which I'm scared about, but it's very pretty. And I really like this because it does have that blush lighter look, and it's clearly pink, right? What I will say is it's very different from this because even though this is bright and pink, unlike the Sephora, because the Sephora is also bright and pink, but when you blend it out, it has that translucent quality to it. It's almost, you know what I mean? They're both nice and glowy, but this one has almost like a glossy look to it that gives off that transparent vibe. This one gives more of a metallic vibe. Like the Franken blush from the Beauty Bakery blushes gives off that metallic vibe. This one gives a glossy, wet look. So they're very different, and I like that because it depends on the mood or the day. I will go for different looks. So that's the difference between them. Now this Tarte Franken blush. I don't even remember honestly which shades of blush I put together to get the shade, but it is more of a nudie, corally, peachy matte blush. There's no sheen or shimmer in this. It's straight up powdery matte. I am kind of torn. I'm kind of torn because I don't yet know how I really feel about this blush. It's kind of reminding me of this Arbonne blush, but more of a pinky, peachy version of it as opposed to a mauve. Um, because of that, I will be keeping these two blushes to get to know them more. Like the Franken blush, two of my Franken blushes basically. I'll be keeping them in this bag, but the bronzer I'll be changing up. This Arbonne one I'm done with. The CoverGirl one I am putting back. The Clinique highlight I am putting back as well. I am keeping these Sephora blushes for the next month's makeup bag to continue getting to know them and to figure out if I'm returning this at all, because I'm leaning towards returning it. I have about a week before I can't return it anymore. But I really want to get to know it and understand if I like it before I fully keep it. With that in mind, I am putting this Rare Beauty blush in there to compare, right? Because I don't need both. If they're similar enough on the cheek, I don't need both. This I'm putting away. Now, these are all blushes. I'm going to need some bronzer and some highlight. Well, thank you for asking, because that's where this Franken palette comes in. I know it's a Benefit Cheek Stars palette, but when you open it, to be fair, I have not touched this cookie highlighter. It is perfect the way it is. I am so excited to use that again. This Hoola bronzer is also perfect. I am determined to figure out if it's too warm or just the right neutral shade for me that's leaning cool. But to continue the fun, I have three Franken blushes here. They are not too different from the original Dallas. I just remember adding a bit more depth to it because it was too light for me. I remember playing with the Sugar Bomb shade. I added a bit more pigment to it as well because it was too light to show up on me. Definitely this Georgia shade, I remember it's very luminous but also too light for me. I think I'm discovering a trend with Benefit products. But this is a palette of Franken blushes with two regular shades. So I am very excited to use this palette in combination with these blushes for the next month or so. It's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, I think that's everything I'm putting in my bag. Thank you for hanging out with me. That is not aesthetically pleasing, but this is, you know what? There you go. Is that a little better? um, this is my makeup bag now for the next month or so. Thank you for hanging out with me and listening to me share my thoughts about the makeup that I have and continuing to fight the good fight of being content with what I have. Thank you and have a good day. Take care. Bye.